So in chapter 1, we looked at how it is our responsibility as human beings to uniquely interpret the Creator. Now, if you're going to do this, you're going to need to have a way of understanding how you work with creation. You need an interpretation of how to work and partner with what exists here in creation. So in order to grasp at this, we're going to look at 3 different time periods where human beings were working with creation and the differences in those time periods. The first is the pre-fall in the Garden of Eden. How at that point were we working with creation? The second is after the fall. Once we'd corrupted this world, how were we then working with creation? And then the third is in the faith-based union with the Creator now, the spiritual union, how do we work with creation in this present age by faith? So in the first time period, the pre-fall state in the Garden of Eden, God gave us the heavens and the earth, and He said, create on it. Use what I've created and put essentially a second created layer of interpretations on top of what I have built here. It was a very glorious time, and there was no dissension between human beings and creation. Creation wanted to work with human beings because human beings were walking with the Creator. And that made this wonderful partnership where we'd continually bring a second layer of glory onto this created foundation. Unfortunately, then we turned away from the Creator, and we still now put a second layer, but it is no longer a glorifying second layer. We are dragging creation down into a fallen state of death. And that is why all human beings die, our bodies die, even creation as a whole is slowly decaying towards an inevitable death. And that is our fallen created layer. And then the third time period is now in this fallen world. By faith, we can be taken back into a spiritual union with the Creator. However, everything in creation is now temporary. Because of what we've done, creation is dying. So all the thoughts, emotions, and actions you produce, even though they might be returning towards a pre-fall state, they're still going to be temporary. Everything you create is going to die. Your body is going to die. And we need to accept the responsibility that although we're going to learn now from the Creator and bring forth more glorious creations, they will all still be temporary. The only thing that will be saved is your soul. So we come up with these 3 simple takeaways. First, Eden is gone. There is no way to get back to the pre-fall state in this fallen age. You can't get back. Additionally, you can't undo what was done at the fall. We always try to eliminate disease and get rid of death. It's not going to happen. You can't undo the consequences of the fall. And third, all of creation, because of what we've done, is now temporary. Everything's moving towards death. And a mature Creator accepts that reality that we have brought forth. Now, a new heaven and a new earth will be created, but for the time being, creation is now all temporary because of what we've done. So let's look a little bit closer at the pre-fall state and how we worked with creation. In this second created layer that was originally supposed to be brought forth, we were creating with a foundation. Not just the heavens and the earth, we were walking with the foundation, God Himself. The only knowledge we had came directly from Him, and then we used our free will to express that knowledge in any way we saw fit, and we did that by creating on top of creation. So we were placing our interpretations on top of the creation that already existed. So we have an example of this. In the Garden of Eden, God brought all the animals to Adam, and He said, put a unique name on each of the animals I've created. So you see here that Adam was to create an interpretation by walking with the Creator, and then put a name on these creations, each of which kind of expressed in unique ways the Creator. So that placing on, that's the second created layer. And it's hard for us to understand in this fallen world. But creation wanted this. Creation wasn't resisting Adam. The animals came up 2 by 2, right in front of Adam. And they wanted this unique name so that they could have a second layer be part of this great drama of creation, which would uniquely interpret the Creator. So originally your position was created, you were created to be over creation and to keep lifting creation up and up and up into ever increasing uniqueness. It was a glorious time, and there was no resistance between the Creator, us as the created creators, and creation. We all partnered and worked together to bring forth glory. So let's look now at the fallen created layer and what happened once we sinned. Well, the first thing that's obvious is now we create without a foundation. And you say, well, I mean, the earth's still here. I still have a body. So the material foundation is still in place, but something's wrong. And that, of course, is we're no longer with the spiritual foundation. So the spiritual union is separated, which means now the only spiritual being you know is you. And who are you? You are a spiritual being of emptiness, of darkness, and of death. Why? Because only the Creator is life and light and love. So if you're spiritually separate from Him, you have no love. You have no life. You have no light in you at all. So that means every creation you form, you're essentially putting a black hole of nothingness at the center of it. Have you ever noticed how your memories just seem to disappear? How your relationships just fade over time? Even if you look at the human body, as we age, when we become an elderly human being, the body actually gets shorter. We hunch over and we start imploding on ourselves, because a black hole, if you put a black hole at the center of something, the black hole sucks it in. So all of our creations implode because there's no foundation within them, no spiritual foundation. And also, since our soul is a black hole of nothingness, creation doesn't recognize us at all. Your mind, heart, and body can't see you. You just look like a black hole of nothingness. So they just go about their ways and do whatever they want. So right now, although you have a mind, heart, and body, there's no spiritual creator. So the rest of creation just looks at you and sees this walking being, but they can't see a creator. They can't know a spiritual creator. So they treat you just like another creation, just like another animal. And that's unfortunate. It's demeaning, but that is the state that we live in. We're not spiritual creators. We've fallen, and although we still have a mind, heart, and body, those created aspects of us, those animalistic components of our nature, just kind of run the show because we don't have a spiritual being. Now, even though that's true, even though you're less than creation, you're still trying to create over creation. You're trying to get back to that pre-fall state. Now, this is very interesting because presently, creation actually knows more about the Creator than you do. Because we know that all the invisible qualities and divine nature and eternal power of the Creator are still clearly displayed in creation. But you and I, we've all turned away from the Creator. We've rejected the Creator. So creation knows more than we do. But you're still trying to place yourself as the good Creator, the one who knows the way to truth and love and light. But you don't. So the only spiritual being you know is you. You're leading creation into becoming like you. And who are you like? Darkness, lifeless, and a loveless being. So you're making all creation into your nature, which is death, which of course is why we all die. So now you create from beneath creation, but you're doing that in order to lead all that is good to death. Because remember, when God created the heavens and the earth, He said it's good. Yet what are we doing now? We're leading creation away from that original standard to our standard, but of course our standard is simply death. We are death. We're a black hole, and we're trying to make creation into that likeness, into our likeness, and that's why the end result of all the work we do in our life is a corpse. And that's the end, the ultimate realization of the fallen created layer. So let's look now at, in a fallen world, if we embrace this union of faith, this spiritual union of faith, how do we live? And of course, the first thing you realize is it's temporary. Everything here is temporary. Only your soul will be harvested from this world and taken on with the Creator in the new world to come. But for now, we only create temporary creations. All your thoughts, emotions, and actions will go back to dust. So the first thing you start to see is that we, the souls, our souls, human beings, we're to be creating as a foundation. Now, you say, but isn't God supposed to be the foundation? Well, there's a hint here, because if you notice, once you embrace a faith-based union with the Creator, He doesn't come in and fix everything for you. And the reason for that is He leaves you in your body, He leaves you in this world, because He wants you to learn how to be a foundation. just like Him. This is very interesting because to be a foundation, you have to create from beneath creation, not above creation, create from beneath. Now, this is great because this is where you already are. You're lesser than creation. Creation is not going to follow you. Creation is not going to recognize you. So, what you can do is live with the Creator and start to be a spiritual foundation. Let creation come to you. Let creation recognize you. And as you expand as a foundation, anything that's on top of you gets lifted up. So that's the role we're to play in this temporary world that we live in now. It also requires us to accept the full consequences of our actions as fallen creators. We are now creating without creation. Creation does not recognize you. Your mind, heart, body do not recognize you. They don't recognize that you're a spiritual creator. Now, we like to think that, oh, once I'm walking with the Creator by faith, all creation should just come to me and bring money and bring people and bring love and bring wonderful emotions. That's not going to happen. They don't recognize who you are because you were born a black hole. And every human being that's come along has said that I'm the one who is good. I'm walking with the Creator. I have the true knowledge. I urge you, don't go down that path. Don't follow that same pattern. Instead, turn away from creation. Walk with the Creator and let creation come to you. Let creation recognize you. And when it does recognize you, when it does recognize light and love and life, turn away again and go back to the Creator all the more. Because a resurrected Creator, which is what we're becoming now, a resurrected spiritual Creator, rises eternally from darkness. This world's all dark, you're dark. So the nature of who you are has to come up from beneath, and you're going to be surrounded in this present age by temporary creations. Everything's going to fade. So you don't want to reach and latch on to any of those creations. You don't want to think that your thoughts, emotions, and actions now are finally going to be the good thoughts, emotions, and actions. Accept your position beneath creation. Be lifted up by the Creator, but only as a foundation, and then let creation come on top of you and recognize you. Don't go to creation. Let creation come to you. That is how we live in this temporary world and bringing forth a created layer by simply walking with the Creator and becoming a foundation as He is, and then you let creation come to you.